Welcome back. Tech on top. Brand Finance releasing its annual top 500 most valuable brands in the country. And the top 5 are this: Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and AT&T. Joining me now is Brand Finance founder and CEO David Haigh. It's good to see you, David. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
It's interesting to see technology up at the top of the list of top brands. I mean, you go back, 10 years ago, and it was things like GE. It was things like Procter & Gamble, industrial and consumer names that resonate with everybody. And today it's just dominated by tech. Tell us why.
Well, there are 500 brands in the table, and there are many, many other great brands from America. But something like 1.1 trillion of the brand value is coming from the tech companies. And that's really a reflection of just how good America is at generating entrepreneurial businesses, particularly in the tech sector. It's something which obviously the Chinese, who are trying to develop their brands, are extremely jealous of.
One of the questions I have for you is, why is Facebook still on there at number 6? It seems like they had a terrible year, and it seems like they've come under attack from not only, politicians over in Europe, but also here in the United States. So it seems like there's this whole wave going against Facebook, but they still have one of the most reputable or, top brands, according to your survey.
Yes. Well, the way that we've measured them is, first of all, we measure the strength of the brand, and that's like a credit rating, and we actually give them credit ratings. And this year, the Facebook credit rating went down from AAA plus to AAA minus, and maybe next year it'll go down again. That's an indicator of future performance. The current performance at Facebook is still remarkably strong. Their actual financials went up this year, not down. So it could be next year and the year after they'll start really tanking. They're just unpopular. Their financials are still good.
David, I wanted to ask you about Netflix, which is one of your fastest rising brands, but still trails a lot of their emerging streaming video competitors, Disney, Amazon, Apple, Google, AT&T, Verizon, et Is this a danger for Netflix? Because unlike these other companies, they don't own infrastructure. They don't create as many movies as some other people do. Do you look at that and say they're about to crush all these guys ahead of them, or is that a danger signal?
Well, I think it'd be dangerous to suggest they're going to crush Disney. Disney is pretty amazing and has just bought 20th Century Fox to get the content. So yep. I think the thing about Netflix is it's an amazing disruptor. They've more than doubled their value in the last year. Their brand is worth $22 billion, whereas I think we said that Disney's brand value has gone up to $47 billion. So Disney is still much, much bigger. But the point about Netflix is it is a true disruptor of markets, not just in the States, worldwide. Here in the UK, the BBC are terrified of Netflix.
I was surprised by, it's Dagan McDowell, I was surprised by AT&T. That's so old school. And they bought DirecTV, but that has really been a disaster for the company.
Yeah, well, we're measuring the financial results first and foremost. I think their brand value went up like 2%. So they're flatlining. Whether they will continue to flatline or go down is to be said. But, there's still some residual strength in their brand. It's a very old, established, and many customers do still love AT&T.
How do you come up with this list? Tell us what the determinants are.
Well, first of all, we look at the stock market, and we make sure there are plenty of financials that we can do these values from. We then do a first-cut valuation of their branded business, and then we do a first-cut valuation of the brand within it. And there is plenty of financial information available from all sorts of sources, the companies, Bloomberg, data providers, our own research. And so we probably end up with something like 1,000 brands. We then refine it and cut it down to 500. So it's a very thorough process. We start in July last year and we finish in December. So these numbers are actually dated January this year. We're just launching them now, but they relate to the financial performance up to January 2019.
Yeah, it's interesting that the backlash on tech has not sort of resonated and come through in terms of brand recognition, but I guess not.
Well,
yeah.
I think one of the most interesting things, actually, is that some of the ones that have the highest value don't really turn over that much and lose a lot of money and have got negative cash flows. I mean, both Uber and Lyft struggle to actually make profit, and Lyft, which is going to float today, lost $1 billion last year. So really, the values are all about expectations of what the results will be, and sometimes they can be wrong. So
well, wait a minute. I mean, if you're talking about the strength of those brands, you've got a lot of happy customers out there, right?
Yeah, a lot of happy customers.
Does that
who wouldn't be happy if they had a provider that was prepared to do it for a loss? And this is one of the things about Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon has grown dramatically.
happy.
Their model is to make no money, and they now dominate the world, and they are making money.
All right, we'll leave it there. David, it's good to have you on the show today. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
David Haigh joining us.